Hello there. Good morning to you, good afternoon to you, good evening to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you. Share the broadcast. Thank you very much for joining me. So tonight, again, I'm going to, let me see if I can put this. Yeah, I think that starts. Now, if you have read the caption of the broadcast, the description as well, all I'm going to talk about will probably begin to make sense to you. So you have a way of, plugging in on this. So the writer for this chart tonight is that of the statement from the governor of Ondo State. You see, even if they are hiding from the reality because of political correctness, right? We'll continue to remind them. We'll continue to remind them until they own up, okay? So the governor of Ondo State came out and said, honestly speaking, this system in Nigeria where you have a one country, two systems, right? It's not doing anybody, it's not going to do, going to do anybody any favor, so to say. And they can't continue like that. What was he talking about? He was talking about the recent development. Remember that about 2 years ago, the southern governors came together in their own unanimous agreement that to provide an alternative security for the people of southern Nigeria from the invading Fulani terrorists. That's the reason to start with. So they decided to set up their own state security outfits in Yoruba land. They went as far as, setting up laws that eventually set up Amotekun, a supposed security outfit put together to provide alternative security for the people of Yoruba land. The first set of people who came against it were the Northern Governors Forum, if you don't forget, right? So they said, the intention of starting Amotekun was to discriminate against Northerners that comes to Southern Nigeria. They knew why, but in order to weaken it, because they control the levels of power. So that was the argument. When they finally agreed that they should set up Amotekun, they told them they are not allowed to carry arms or to carry any weapon. How do you fight terrorists without, a dependable sort of a weapon? At least a minimum of AK-47. The governors in Yoruba land, because majority of them are APC. So they decided, right, to crawl back into their cocoon, right, to crawl back into their holes, while their people continue to become the victims of the Fulani terrorists in Yoruba land, which we are still dealing with. Ondo State came under attack. There was no kind of effort in fighting back or pushing back or defending the people of Ondo State, even after the establishment of Amotekun. These were supposed to be elected people by their own people with the authority given to them, their own authority or sovereignty derived from that fraudulent constitution, which means that they are, whatever they do on behalf of their people, they are legitimately, allowed, authoritative, they are allowed. But that is not Nigeria. Okay? So they told them, you cannot what? Buy them any weapons. 2 years down the line, the people who have become victims of this terrorism, the list is long. Why that is the situation in southern Nigeria, and their police continue to disarm the people of southern Nigeria. If they get to know that you have any harm or anything anywhere, they will come for you, okay? They will first ask you to submit it. If you don't, they will frame you up for something, until you get jailed or run out of town, okay? So they are doing all of that in southern Nigeria, but up north, the same Nigeria system, the same Nigerian, what do you call it? The same Nigerian northern governors, they allowed those they called civilian JTF. Now, civilian JTF is just the other word for vigilantes, who are working hand in hand with the Nigerian authority, like, the military or the police, right? So they are allowed to carry all kinds of weapons. Now, on that one, there is no single law that established that. Just, we can do it. Okay? But down south, right, the status of assemblies, they enacted laws. These laws were passed, and the state governors, the executives as they are called, they signed them into law. But they are just paper tigers who can only bark but can never bite. So, recently in Zamfara, their own governor came out and said they have decided to buy 500 AK-47 and shared it for all their citizens. This is not like sharing to civilian, sharing to vigilantes or, a body or security outfit established by any law. No. The security situation in that state or up north has become so terrible, just the same way we are witnessing in down south, right? So the governor came out and said they have ordered for 500 AK-47, and they have allowed their citizens as well to go out there and get any weapons they can get to defend themselves. There was no single eyebrow raised by these southern governors and politicians. You know why they are mostly keeping quiet? They are saying it is their turn. Okay, it's our turn, Abi. So they will rather wait for those that will die to die, and then wait until it becomes their turn and see if they can then save you. That was why they were waiting. But Akeredolu seems not to be any longer in any patience. It's no longer in any patience, I would say. That is Zamfara. Okay. In Katsina State, where Boko Haram comes from, Bello Masaku or Masari also just gave an approval that everybody should go and get their own guns. So if you go to Zamfara today and you see people with guns, you probably won't be able to know if they are, okay, well, you'll get to know anyway, but you probably walk around and see people with their own guns. It is legalized in Zamfara now for security reasons, right? But a legally set up outfit in Yoruba land would only be allowed to carry kondo or lokpa. Now, this is what Akeredolu spitted earlier. I'm going to read this back to you. Okay. He said, Akeredolu, he said, we believe in one Nigeria, but we cannot have one country, two systems. He said, the video making the round showing the equivalent of the Western Nigeria Security Network, which is Amotekun Corps, in Katsina, obtaining the approval of the federal government of Nigeria to bear arms is fraught with great dangers. Denying Amotekun the urgently needed rights to legitimately bear arms is a repudiation of the basis of true federalism, which we have been clamoring for. APC governor telling APC government that they are clamoring for true federalism that they actually campaigned on in 2015. Do you see all that, Bobo Nabi? Now, Akeredolu said they are clamoring for true federalism. The Katsina was able to, that Katsina was able to arm its state security force with the display of AK-47 means we are pursuing one country, two systems. Solution to the national question. Okay. Now he said, if the Katsina situation conferring advantages on some in the face of commonly faced existential threats, it means that our unitary policing system, which has failed, is a deliberate method of subjugation, which must be challenged. The independence agreement was based on a democratic arrangement to have a federal state and devolved internal security mechanics. We must go back to that agreement. Akeredolu talking about 1963, 1960, 1963 agreement. So they follow APC, but there are more. The reason why I actually want to share this, or I'm sharing this with you, is to further expose what the likes of Akeredolu knows, but they are not saying. See, Yoruba nation can be a reality. How many months do we have between now and December? We have just 3 months before the end of this year. Yoruba nation, Yoruba sovereignty, autonomy, and every other thing we've asked for can become reality within this remainder 10 weeks in 2022. If these people who knows the truth, who knows why we are where we are, but they are hiding that truth, only when it is convenient for them, they pick some from it to push an agenda that will eventually possibly end up with political patronage. We all of calm down. We'll give you this one. Forget about that thing you are asking. Forget about it. Do you get that now? I am going to use this medium to speak more on what Akeredolu knows and the rest of them knows. If by tomorrow, for example, tomorrow is Friday, if by tomorrow, all of the Yoruba governors decided to call a conference, and then they called all the paramount rulers of Yoruba land to that same meeting. And then they called all of the political, whatever it is, or what, just bring everybody into the same place and said, we are giving Nigeria and the rest of Nigeria, we are giving them so days or so weeks, right? To call for an urgent, immediate national conversation. And on the outcome of that national conversation will determine if we are still going to continue to be part of this charade or fraud or not. But if they do that, they must also be willing and ready to also lose all of the comfort that Nigeria has bestowed on them. They would have to lose all of that too, or be ready, or risk all of that. Something many of them would rather die than do. So Akeredolu, he said, the independence agreement was based on a democratic arrangement to have a federal state and devolved internal security mechanics. We must go back to that agreement. Denying Amotekun the right to bear arms exposes the Southwest to life-threatening marauders and organized crime. It is also a deliberate destruction of our agricultural sector. Are you following? He said, it is an existential threat. We want to reiterate that what is sauce for the goose is sauce for the gander, for the gander rather. Ondo State government, under the doctrine of necessity, have decided to fulfill its legal constitutional and moral duty to the citizens of the state by acquiring arms to protect them. This is more so given that the bandits have an unchecked access to sophisticated weapons. The state government cannot look on while its citizens are being terrorized and murdered with impunity. We will defend our people. Signed, Arakunrin Oluwarotimi Ho Akeredolu, Gómìnà Ondo. Now, as sweet as as vibrating as those words sounded to you, they are as empty as they came. And I'll tell you, that true federalism that Akeredolu was repeating in that his statement, ordinarily was what they sold to the people of Yoruba land. They told you 8 years ago, if you want Nigeria to prosper, we needed true federalism. What is true federalism? In fact, what is federalism? You see, federalism is a system of government where with one center and other federating units, you can call them states. They are called independent federating units. That is, as they are, they came together in agreement, in unison, to be together under a set agreement. So, what are the functions of true federalisms? Or should I call it aims and objectives of federalism in government? That simply means devolved power, which means everyone is in charge of his own affair. Yes, something so similar to the parliamentary system of government that was handed over to our own forebearers 62 years ago, where every region had the opportunity to develop according to, at your own pace, according to your own capacity. Now, that is the meaning of a federating or federal system. Now, when you now have this devolved power for independent regions, independence starts from how you control your own resources. Your resources starts from the human resources. How do you develop them? How do you build on? And then how do you make it even better for those who are there? And every other resources within your own political space, they are used for the betterment of everyone living within that space. But you know that is not what you have in Nigeria. What you have in Nigeria is called unitary system of government, unitary democracy, and it is deliberate. Akeredolu and co, they know that. Okay? And Akeredolu knows that because of this fraudulent arrangement, the rest of the component states, the federating units who are supposed to be the states, the local government, and every other municipality they open up, they became servitude to one center for a reason. If Nigeria is allowed to have independent true federalism, talking about having your own country will not be strange to many of you today, because Nigeria is not a country. You know that Nigeria is combination of nations forced together to bear a one-ross name that nobody has any association with. None of us has any association with that name. However, Akeredolu knows that the federating units are so weak today in Nigeria today. More than 25 states are struggling to even pay the salaries of the workers like teachers, like health workers, like the local government workers, and those who actually make the the society run, those who keep the wheel of the economy and all of that running, they are struggling. You know why? So many of them, about 32 states. In fact, from the record, they said if tomorrow they stop giving every state in Nigeria a location that they share every now and then, every month, 32 states will go bankrupt within a space of 8 months. There are some, out of that 32, about 22 of them, those ones will go bankrupt within the first 3 months. I'm talking about no salaries will be paid, nothing will be done. That is how ruinous the type of system they forced on us have become. Okay? So because of this, even if tomorrow they say, okay, fine. Oh yeah, give them the state police. Oh yeah, let them go and do their own police. Oh yeah, go and buy guns. Where do you think Yorubas will find the fund to actually fund security? Have you ever asked yourself that? Have you? Yeah, that is part of the damages done to us that some of you are not even looking into yet. Akeredolu is struggling to pay workers' salaries in Ondo State. Ondo is struggling with serious insecurity, terrorism threats, just like he said. But every resources in Ondo State, including the human resources from Ondo State, just like everywhere else, is being tapped, squeezed. And whatever they get from them is being taken straight to the center in a big cookie jar where they now have to share it and give them patry that will barely pay the salaries, talk less of investment in infrastructure or investment in security. Now, if Yorubas decided that as we have Amotekun right now, and we really want to keep them and provide logistics and all of that for them, then that's one Nigeria, or the damage is done to us by Nigeria, that fraud Nigeria that they forced together, right? That reality would then hit many of you that, apart from the political loudmouth, that many of them love to just, for the cameras, where they don't really want to say the truth, the way it should be. What is holding us back, holding us down for those who are going to come and kill us? If hunger no kill us, or let me say, if Fulani terrorists and every other criminal gangs that are armed to the teeth in Yoruba land, in southern Nigeria, if they no kill us, hunger is waiting to even kill us as well, because economically, Nigeria has destroyed Yoruba land. Look around you. It is not hard, okay? Except if you are not living in that reality. The Yoruba land that you are saying so, if they say we should go and then buy, go and buy guns for them, then you realize that, as they say, sometimes, if they think well, sometimes you will think when you are wishing for something that is going to destroy you, you will think you are asking for something better at the same time. The likes of Akeredolu knows that to have state police is not the only thing we need. The full autonomy, the full control that can make us set our own, including the full control of our own borders as well. Do you get that now? Full, total control of our own land and the resources therein. That will open us up to flood of unlimited resources that can be invested in education to cut down what? To cut down crime, right? That will be invested in infrastructures, invested in industries, things that will create enabling environment that will cut down what? Cut down crimes and keep those who are keeping us safer too. You get what that means? You need real resources to do all of that. And as Nigeria is, when they tell you, okay, fine, go and buy guns, you will realize that today, you are already witnessing that, are you not? Ibadan, across Yoruba land, Oshun. How many of you have encountered the Amotekun that you celebrated? Will go after Fulani terrorists in the forest, go after kidnappers, go after criminals. Now they are now coming after you because you are probably looking like a Yahoo boy. They are now checking your phones. They are now coming to your houses to come and arrest you because you fought your wife. Your wife reported, you fought your husband. You know, all that stuff. Things that you were like, away. So before you know it, just like you have LASMA, just like you have, what else do they have in that Lagos? You would have to pay their what? You have to pay for their own survivor because there will be no money to actually make them run effectively for the purpose they are setting them up for. Then you end up having to say, oh, my Amotekun checkpoint different too. Say, oh boy, we thought the Nigerian police are. Say, but I know they pay their salary. So where do you want them to see money? But we thought they are there to capture terrorists and all of that. Which terrorists? They are there, roadblock different now that they collect 100 naira from Okada. You know why that is going to be? Because the likes of Akeredolu and the rest of them in Yoruba land, who were supposed to be honest, speak up. Speak up, because you are not going to have that opportunity forever. You're going to be out of that place, and then they're going to start writing books. They will start writing books to start telling us what they wanted to do to stop this, to stop that, what they wanted, what they felt, until it is too late. It is already late. Maybe it is not too late. When Akeredolu said he is going to go ahead and go and procure arms, I hope Akeredolu will be bold enough as well to tell Nigeria, just like he asked them, to hand off and let us go back to that democratic agreement of 1960, independence agreement. Maybe Akeredolu will be able to take it a bit further, okay, and tell them that for Ondo people to be safe, for Ondo people to be prosperous, for Ondo children, women and children, right, to feel safe everywhere they go, for everyone to feel like this is where they are. This is their land. This is where they grew up. This is where their ancestors also, died. And in order not to become, refugees in another land, right? Akeredolu, dubious Dapo from Ogun State, Abi. Solo Makinde, Sheyi Makinde from Oyo. This one, Oletola from Oshun. Who else is on the radar? Fayemi and the rest, right? They should come out clean. Every now and then they are playing the political correctness, waiting for the next victims of what Nigeria is doing to us. Every now and then they do that. People die. And when people die, they play to the gallery for their own political razzmatazz and the rest of that. They should come cleaner. Don't ask for, what do you call it? Don't ask for state police. Don't ask for, what else again? All the other things they're asking for in what they call the restructuring, without being honest to say they should hand off. Yoruba needs that autonomy for the sake of the Yorubas, and the children and the children of our own that are going to also live on the land bestowed to us by our own ancestors. So you have that chance now. Use it, or just please keep quiet. The fact that I said, just like Autumn in Benue and Sonweiku as well, God bless you. In fact, there was a time I told people, I said, you see, these people, they are comfortable, right, with the fraudulent union of Nigeria, okay, which robs Peter to pay Paul. And that is what the true definition of what world Nigeria is. The Yorubas will say, oh, we are losing over 10 trillion naira, $1 trillion, trillion this or that, because of what Nigeria is taking from us. But you see, those who are in charge of Yoruba land on their own, they are comfortable with the peanut they give back to them. So they are okay. One Nigeria, we are interested in one Nigeria anyway, but we don't want one Nigeria, two system and all of that stuff, and all those are blah, 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 blah. They know. They are comfortable with that peanut they give to them. But for 23 years, you know that Lagos State alone is giving it, I mean, the average sum of over 500 billion naira to Nigeria on VAT, value added tax alone. Lagos alone. Do you get that? Now, yes, the federal government or the entire Nigeria developed Lagos, being the former, being the former capital of Nigeria for 77 years. That's massive, by the way. So I understand the way Nigeria is. But look at it this way. A sort of independence Yoruba land to start with, right? For those who are in charge of Yoruba land, 23 years, right, of this fraudulent democracy, I haven't seen them where they actually pull themselves together. Listen to this, pull themselves together and say, you know what? If all of us want to be honest, there is nothing that we are benefiting from Nigeria. Let's be honest. Rather, we are those given to Nigeria to survive. Now, if that is the case, let us play with numbers. How much are you giving? How much are they taking from your states that you know of, or they say they are taking? Then everybody calculate what they are taking from them. And then from that, you can say, okay, how about we use this UNICEF, one united Western Nigeria, okay, for the sake of our people, pull our resources together with a single plan, a single master plan, like when it comes to transportation, to ensure that from these our resources, we can build super highways across Yoruba land. While at the same time, that's on transportation there, super highways, right? Fastest modern train system across length and breadth of Yoruba land. Develop that as a people who love the people generally, okay? Now, at the same time, highlight areas that we are going to say from these resources we are pulling together as Western Nigeria this way. From these resources we are putting together, we are going to invest massively in mechanized farming, agricultural disorder. You know what I mean? And we are going to choose this state, that state for that purpose. Okay. Then after that, we're going to choose this state. For example, Ogun State. Here. We're going to build industries here and there who are going to be processing what we are going to be bringing from those places. Okay. Now, pulling resources together, I'm talking about, Lagos will have the largest share in that resources of pulling resources together. And at the same time, Lagos State is going to earn even more than the rest, but everybody will benefit eventually, okay? So you have this fast train from all over Yoruba cities, all the cities in Yoruba land, right? Including the interland that you could connect anytime, coming every 10 minutes from Oshun to Ekiti to Ondo to everywhere. And everything will end up in either in Apapa, Lagos, for those who want to go and take a ship cruise. For those who want to go to the airport for wherever it is, right? Whether you want to do it in Lagos or you want to go to any other part of Yoruba land for your international flight. Now, all this development in 23 years, we could have gone so far enough that today, the likes of Akeredolu, they will not be begging to be recognized or given acknowledgement that they are part of Nigeria and they deserve to keep us safe, as they are begging now. Beggy. This I'm telling you. Now, let's play with figure now. Let's play with numbers. Let's say from the money they are taking from Lagos in a year, they are sharing to the rest of Nigeria. VAT. Sorry, my brothers and sisters from Biafra who have your own oil already privatized by people who have never even been to your communities. I understand. So my people in Niger Delta, I know. Now your own oil that they take do forex for Nigeria. I agree. Okay. So when it gets to your turn, just remove Yoruba from it and put the criminal rogues, the criminals who are in charge of all those places too. And think for a minute what I'm about to say as well, okay? Lagos State, let's say from 1999, if they indeed, when they have Afenifere ADO, if their intention was to help all of us, so that you, where they Ekiti, where they Osun, you will be living like us, where they UK. You see, in this UK, whether you are living in Bristol, or you are living in Bolton, or you are living in London, or you are living in Manchester, or Dundee, or you are living in Fife, or Edinburgh, or you are living anywhere you are living in the UK, or you are living in Belfast, or wherever you find yourself, you will have access to the same facilities, the same infrastructure, the same thing that everyone have access to everywhere. That's what I'm saying. And it is possible in Yoruba. It's so possible. But the intention was not about you. I keep saying it. So when the likes of Akeredolu speak like this, it is an opportunity for me to remind you that he knows more that he is not talking about. And because he is not, like everyone else, right? All his talk is just empty. Now, think about this. Lagos State, that is giving Nigeria $500 billion on VAT alone. There. Ogun State, that is giving Nigeria nearly 200 billion naira. Sorry, I take that back. Ogun State not to get that much, okay? Ogun State giving about 178 billion naira in a year. Ondo, that is giving Nigeria on VAT. I'm talking about VAT now, value added tax. So Ondo, that is giving Nigeria over 40 billion in a year. Ekiti giving Nigeria over 20 billion VAT in a year. Where else again? Sha, pick them like that. Oyo, that is giving Nigeria over 120 billion naira as VAT in a year. Now, put it this way, okay? Let's say from all those money, Ondo is giving for this Yoruba development too, right? Ondo is contributing into that wallet. It doesn't matter whether you are PDP, APC, whoever you are, okay? 1999, Ondo is giving, let's say, 1 billion. Ogun is giving 2 billion. Oyo is giving 20 billion. Ekiti is giving maybe let's say another 2 billion. And Lagos is doing the big brother. In a year, not every month, is giving us 50 billion. Now, 50, 20, 2, 2, 2, 1, and all that. If you add everything together, you probably will be getting somewhere around 75 billion a year. Now, imagine this. In Yoruba land, there is this sovereign fund set up by people who actually have vision for us. And then they care, like Awolowo cared back then. Sure, you get me now? Now, imagine if that such fund has been there and they have this plan that says, okay, that's our plan. And the whole thing is going to cut across on transportation, on healthcare. We are going to build, what do you call it? Drug manufacturing companies. I'm talking about pharmaceutical companies that are going to be manufacturing pharmaceutical products that are going to go into health and all of that, right? They set up the different factories everywhere, producing. Now, why that is that, yeah? They decided that, from this fund, all across Yoruba land, I'm talking about 23 years now, across Yoruba land, we want to build at least 5,000 bed hospitals in every Yoruba state. Do you know that in 23 years, they would have built all of that? And in Yoruba land, we would have had about 30,000 beds, at least standard bed, who have a regular supply of medical nurses, doctors, specialists, including every medicine that they're going to need in there. Now, imagine if that has been in place. You have agricultural settlement all over the place like Awolowo did. You have cottage industries everywhere where people are like working and producing things because the market is there. And then you have this strong-willed individuals driving this ideology. Today, we won't have to beg anybody that we needed to go and buy guns. When you buy them guns and you don't give them food, you turn them to lunatics with guns. What do you think mad people with guns, what do you think they do? They do crazy things. Then you begin to see Amotekun with guns begging on the streets. Just like your Daura Secret Service, your this and that. So you see that concept I just gave you now, that would have put these guys in a more better light, instead of them, when it's politically convenient for them, to start referring back to 1960, 1963. But when they are there, it is them, it is their party, it is their government. Now, who is he asking to give them permission to buy guns, or to give them permission to at least exist? Is asking their own party to do that, which means it's just all empty talk. Like they say in America, politicians, all talk, no action. They made laws to set up Amotekun, ladies and gentlemen, with fanfare. They bought them vehicles. Akeredolu got his own uniform as the director general, being a commander general of people holding Kondo to go and fight AK-47 wielding terrorists. While in the media, they continue to say, we don't want everybody we love Nigeria. No, they don't. No, they don't. They love Nigeria because, as it is, Nigeria pays their bills and that of their family members. Just like Layamo. You know Layamo, who just said that Atifku copied Bokwari's economic blueprint. I am not going to bore you with what is the blueprint. So he said Atifku no get any plan. He's just using the ideas of Bokwari and refining them and all of that in order to be your president. Is one of them. When the terrorists invaded Yoruba land in 2016, it was Layamo who said those people who were killing our people in Ekiti, those who killed our people on their farms in Ondo in 2016, it was this same Layamo who came out and he said they were not Nigerians. No, they are not Nigerians. People were saying, how then did they get into Nigeria and they walked down straight to Ekiti to kill people on their farm? And they said it was because of the death of Gaddafi. That because Gaddafi died. He said, but Gaddafi don't die tete now. How come now when you guys terrorists come to power, you jihadists came to power, that Gaddafi's death is now killing people in Ekiti? They use all manner of propaganda, all kind of lies to make, just to deviate from the truth. Then when they couldn't lie anymore, they said the media houses in Nigeria should not be reporting the Fulani killing people, the Fulani terrorists killing people across Nigeria. They should be reporting them as farmers' others clashes. When that didn't work, they said, well, we found a solution. Just give up your land or your life. But that is just Layamo there. So if Layamo now come out today and he's talking about Bokwari's economic policy, just like I've said it myself here, right? Anywhere you like, make you run. Run to Obi, run to Atifku, run to Tifnumbu, even run out of Nigeria. If you are for one Nigeria, you have no escape route. Okay? You don't escape anything. As it is now, the continued existence of Nigeria under this arrangement is a threat to every one of us, including you that is praying. God forbid. Pray to God. God will surprise you, man. You will see. God, no. It is that devil that has been surprising you, I believe, because if it is God that has been sort of or if it is God that you have been waiting to surprise you about Nigeria, it's been 62 years, my darling. It's been 62 years. I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old you are. I can tell you this for free. It must either be that the devil is stealing your surprises. As long as Nigeria continues to exist under these arrangements, ladies and gentlemen, run anywhere. You know the escape arm. But here is a hint that you should probably listen to. That hint is that Atifu's economic policy is copied from Buhari's economic policy. Now, do you want us to take a glimpse into the Buharinomics? You see, 65% of, okay, no, I think they said over 60 million Nigerians get mental health problems. Serious mad problems. Oh, I didn't say that. One of their psychologists in Nigeria said that. And they said, what caused this type of schizophrenia, mental health, and other things that people are suffering from in Nigeria today that's making it difficult for them to make any rational decisions or to be able to actually hold conversation or indeed complete any kind of, task is because 60 million of you get mental problem. You demand. That's what the psychologist said. And they said, what made many of you to be suffering from that mental problem right now, though you never tear your cloth, okay, you never roam the streets, but somehow you don't talk to yourself, like, which level be this? Which life is this? I'll tell you. The psychologist said, majority of you are suffering, and you are suffering so hard, right? Country hard, we say, to lighten up. I'm a country hard, though. Country hard. But in reality, it is actually so hard and depressing. People are suffering, going through economic hardship, financial hardship that has led to relationship problems, families torn apart. Are you with me? Things are getting, like people are walking about with so much weight on them that they don't even have anybody to share them with. In the process, they are easy to anger. Any small thing about don't spark. Check them on social media. You can see some people won't even, so they don't even like, they don't have time to assimilate anything, to process any information. Okay? Once they see what the keyword they wanted, they will be triggered. The madness will kick in. They say you are mad. 60 million of you are mad by the, what do you call it? Because you are finding it difficult to pay your bills. Some of you graduates with no jobs, struggling for real. Yeah. And these days as well, the mental health problem within school children has been reported to be increasing as well. Young people are now carrying the task of adults for survival's sake. Students have been locked at home for the past 7 months now. A lot is happening to many of them as we speak. Yeah. And in fact, worsening and deteriorating their mental health as well. The pressure, this endless thought of, would I ever graduate? All of these are having impact on people. And the most worst of them is that a financial one. You get what I mean now? And there are like millions and millions of people who are falling into this trap, but they still pretend to be all right. Do you understand that? They still what? They still pretend to be all right. What we call Buharinomics. Buharinomics is what you are witnessing today in Nigeria. Let's start with the food. Your food, or put it this way, your purchasing power, which is how much access, or let me say, how easy you have access to sort of make money, make income in order to be able to cater for your own personal need and possibly family needs. So the value of your currency has been destroyed, ruined, reducing what you could probably even get, including the value of food you end up having to eat. People are unable to feed these days, not because they don't really have money. It's because they've had to ration most of what their money can buy them these days. And every day it keeps getting worse and worse. And the fear, the worry that one day they will run out of this old cash and they will not be able to get anything anymore. That fear is contributing to the worsening health crisis that some of them are suffering from today. Now, financial crisis contributing to mental health issue and all that. So surprisingly, the people that used to buy a bag of rice for 7,500 naira, now buying it for 35,000 naira. So if they go out tomorrow and suddenly a bag of rice is sold for 25,000 naira, they will celebrate. Do you get that? That is Buharinomics. They take you to the end of the barrel, right? And if there is any slight change, you have been so used to that battered bottom of the barrel lifestyle that you have even forgotten that you are better off back then, that you thought that was even worse or bad. Now look at you. So if you get any little respite, it makes you feel like shebi they just, I bought my own bag of rice for 28,000 naira. I don't know where you got your own for 35,000. It's cheaper now. There are, that stuff. That's Buharinomics. A liter of petrol from 87 naira to 180 naira per liter. So if you wake up tomorrow and it becomes 170 naira per liter, they will celebrate it. They say, Buhari, that's the Buhari we voted for. It is called Buharinomics. They promised them 3 million jobs every year, only to create 15 million job losses every year. 15 million. Today, 43% of their people are unemployed. That is nearly half of the population of the country, jobless. But we are going to create 777,000 jobs for all the young people. Make them go the clean gutter to stop unemployment. Yes. I say, how can graduate be cleaning gutter? My friend, it's a job, not job. Any job is a job. They dipped over 50 million into the joblessness, right? And then they gave 774,000 stipend and peanuts. That is Buharinomics. The economy will be better now. At least there's people are working. People are collecting money. Do you know how much? We need to create a small and medium enterprises and give, let small businesses have access to, loans that are not with too much interest, Abi. So that's a brilliant idea. Who are the small businesses that will benefit? They are the pure water seller, agbado seller on the roadside, agbado, corn roaster, the person that is selling handkerchief in the hold up. These are the small business owners. Let us give them 10,000 naira so that we can lift 10 million out of poverty. Hey, Buhari said he's going to lift 10 million people out of poverty after dipping over 100 million of you in poverty. Extreme poverty is called. Extreme. And the result is out there. We can see it. You can see them. Buhari said, let us appreciate them. Let's appreciate them. They said they want to lift 10 million people out of poverty. Now they've started giving them 10,000 naira so that they can lift 10 million out of, oh dear, man. That is Buharinomics. Buharinomics is also very much, so this one is like those personal one. Oh. Now let's go deeper. Okay. Buharinomics is to come out and tell you subsidy na scam. Oh. Subsidy is a scam. Oh. Now small and a handful of people, they collect the billions and trillions. Oh. We could build our own refinery here and stop importation of oil, importation of petrol, so that all these people collecting this subsidy, they won't collect it. Oh, they say, hey, subsidy na scam, subsidy na scam. We are removing subsidy. Baba, remove them. We don't care. Let's buy fuel for 100 naira. Let's buy it for 200 naira and build us refinery. So they remove subsidy. Fuel jumped from 87 naira per liter to over 180 naira. So in some places, over 200 naira per liter today. But you know what is the saddest? Subsidy is a scam. Subsidy was a scam. The scammers that were paying subsidy before these criminals came in, as they called their scammers, PDP, paying the subsidy. They were paying 600 billion, 400 billion, 700 billion a year for subsidy, and you are buying fuel at 87 naira per liter. No be so? APC, Egbekegbe, in their own Buharinomics, to help you, will remove that subsidy. Okay? Fine, Baba. Sai Baba, Sai Baba, Sai Buhari. They started buying fuel at wherever they are buying it from now, right? Only for them to look back and say, they said we paid subsidy of 1.2 trillion. I thought we removed it. No. If we remove subsidy, you will be buying the fuel for 500 naira. We told you now. No, we didn't remove everything. We did not remove everything. We just removed small so that you can be paying more, and you're already paying that. The mumu you who are defending these criminals, these scammers, Now, but Esa, we 1.2 trillion. If you have removed the subsidy small, now if you say the money where you pay for subsidy reduced be that, how come you are paying more for subsidy? Where you remove partially, and we are buying more. It is called Buharinomics, which you know that we also we transit to all other things that you do automatically. Your food, your house rent, your this, your that. Sure, you get me? But they told you it was for your own good. Only a year later that no refinery is being built. Kaduna refinery, it never refined a single drop of a crude oil for the past 7 years. No single drop by. And every year, their staff there, director, everybody, then they get the budget of over 60 billion naira. That they collect salary. Some of them are collecting salary that your teacher in your local village there, your local schools there, right? She is struggling to get paid at 30,000 naira. Somebody is in Kaduna doing oil and gas, Kaduna refinery branch. We no refine a single tiny pit by 7 years. Then you see every other ones that were like already near dead before they came in. They just put cutlass Ada. They just put Ada and Ake, cut them off. No single thing is being refined again. The one they promised that they will build for you every year, you know, see them. Subsidy they told you they removed, they are still paying. Now, you are now paying nearly 2 trillion. In fact, you see this year, you are going to pay 2.4 trillion for subsidy so that you can then continue to buy fuel at whatever price. Now, paying that amount of money to some people, free money, free loader, means that you will have no money to really fund education. You will have no real money to fund security for real. The one that you are even funding, they are even stealing that, Abby. You have no real money to really fund your infrastructure. Last, they say last, now everybody go chop breakfast. Bye, yo. Bye, Gary, yo. Last, now everybody go chop breakfast. That's the issue. Because you know what? It is called Buharinomics. You say we need to go to China to go and borrow money so that we can build you trains. We can build you this. We can build you that. So they went to China, destroy your currency. They have not built anything. At the end of the day, What did they do? They decided to go to China to go and borrow money to lay pipeline from Niger Delta to Niger Republic, refinery in Niger Republic, using your own money, tapping your own oil, taking it away for thousands of kilometers away from Nigeria to be refined somewhere else so that they can then bring it back to Nigeria as imported fuel so that they can still continue to pay subsidy. You see, well, that is called Buharinomics. It makes people poorer, depressed, frustrated, and then become beggarly. Go around you, ask around. If you see those who are mostly begging about, they are mostly from this Agbado kingdom. The people that are like born to suffer head, original suffer heads. But we need to let you know that if they now said Atiku is coming, and somebody quickly said, now Buhari economic blueprint, Atiku they bring, is right to make I remind you, small, sure you get. How many of you remember sometimes in 2016, I think, if my memory still serves me right, which I believe still does, you remember Baru, Mike Auntie Baru, that guy who died, the former GMD of NNPC, Mike Auntie Baru. He died of coronavirus at the time. But before his death, you remember when Baru traveled to London with